Hi everybody, I'm Diana. I am the co-director of Chimpanzee Sanctuary Northwest, and I just wanted to share this little video to let you know what's happening at the sanctuary during this kind of strange time. First, you might wonder where I am, so I'll show you. I'm at my little corner office with my stand-up desk here. This is where I do most of my work. I need to clean it up a little bit. That's Jamie, of course. My boss is always watching me, so she's up there. So you may have received a newsletter that has some of this information, and this is more about how you can help. So right now, we don't know for sure if chimpanzees can catch this novel coronavirus, but we really have to operate under the assumption that they can. We know that other diseases like colds and flus are really easily transmitted from humans to chimpanzees. We know that there's a wild population of chimps who were tested positive for human coronavirus, so they can catch other coronaviruses from us. And our population has to be considered vulnerable. All of our chimps are over 30 years old, and most of them are in their 40s. And Burrito has heart disease, so there's a lot of concerns about what would happen if they were exposed to this novel coronavirus. So we're doing everything that we can to prevent them from being exposed. And that has included drastically reducing the number of people that they come in contact with or who are in the building with them. So that's meant that instead of having 4 or 5 volunteers each day, we're down to really just staff, and we have one volunteer who comes a couple of times a week who has met our strict criteria and is basically self-isolating when she's not here. So our staff is just amazing, and you probably know that we've had a lot of tough times in these last few months, and they've been through a lot. But they are really dedicated and just working very hard to make sure that the chimpanzees stay happy and healthy, and we're working together really well as a team, and I just couldn't be more grateful for them. And the chimps are doing good. They are just going about their days as they normally would, and we are wearing more protective gear than we normally would around them, so whenever we're in the building, we wear scrubs and we wear masks and gloves, and that's even when we're doing non-chimp related tasks like preparing enrichment or preparing their food or even just on the computer in the chimp house. We're always wearing masks and gloves, and that's just to make sure that our germs aren't being transferred into their building. This has also affected our event that we had planned for June. So this is our big gala event, and we often raise a good portion of our operational budget during the event, and we had hoped to raise $200,000. It was scheduled for June 13th, and we've postponed it until September 18th, and we're hoping by September things will be back to somewhat normality and it will go forward, but we're just going to wait and see. In the meantime, we are hoping to do an online virtual event, something that we've never done before, and we're excited about it. We're hoping it'll be something that will be a nice break for you all too, so that you can watch the chimps have a party. So we'll be sending out invitations about that soon. And we'll also have an online-only auction that leads up to that June 13th date. So, I have an idea for you. I know a lot of you are also worried about your local businesses and how to support them during this time when a lot of them are closed down and are not receiving revenue. So, we thought what we would do is suggest that you buy gift certificates from your favorite shops and restaurants and then donate them to the sanctuary so that we can then auction them off at our online-only event in June. And that helps them and it helps us, and hopefully it'll be a fun thing for everybody. And I've compiled a list of suggested places, and that list that I've compiled includes businesses that are in our local area in Roslyn, Washington, and Ellensburg, and also places in Seattle and Portland, which are animal-friendly places. So the criteria includes, if it's a restaurant, that they have at least one veganizable dish and that they don't serve veal or foie gras. And if you have a local business that probably wouldn't work for an online auction unless you know people who are going to bid on it, then we do encourage you to look at that list and pick from the places that we suggested. So accompanying this video is a link to that list. And I have also included a document that I created at the beginning of the year, which just outlined what we had hoped to do for the year in terms of individual fundraising. We were really hoping for quite a lot this year. There are more than 30 chimps that are still at Wildlife Way Station, which is where Maeve, Willybee, and Honeybee came from last year. And they are in desperate need of sanctuary placement. And I'm not sure how the coronavirus has affected the timeline for that. I think it'll slow things down some, but we are taking a wait-and-see approach. We had hoped to break ground this month on further construction, which would allow us to bring a group of 6 to 8 chimps here. And we are waiting on a permit for that construction. We think we can still go through with the construction once we have the permit in place, because the construction workers wouldn't have to come inside the building, so there wouldn't be any exposure risk to the chimps. But again, we're just kind of a wait-and-see approach with that. We also have to really be paying attention to our budget and making sure that we're not overextending ourselves. So that document, which outlines what we had hoped to do with raising money for the expansion and just for general day-to-day care, I think will really be helpful for people to see where you might fit into that. And I know the economy is really uncertain right now, and I cannot say too many times how much we appreciate our supporters. Our supporters are amazing. And I know that you view the chimps as your family members, and they absolutely are. And during this crazy time, we want to be here for you as well. We want to be able to share videos of them and share photos and just let you know what they're up to on a day-to-day basis. And maybe for 30 seconds or 2 minutes out of your day, you're just not thinking about anything but how things are going here, and just enjoying the chimps and who they are and what they bring to all of our lives. So check out that list of businesses, buy gift certificates for your favorite businesses. There's a little criteria that I included in this email about what kinds of businesses to support. And check out the levels of individual donors. Just think about what you might be able to do, and wish us luck, and keep following the blog.